All right, so welcome everyone to the Whole Life Healing Program today. And what we're going to be addressing is one of the topics that doctors have chosen is all lives matter. So before we hear from them, Dr. Peck and Dr. Alex, I'm going to share this disclaimer. This presentation is for education and informational purposes only. We're going to be talking about issues of health and well-being. We wanted to make sure that you understand this information is not intended to heal or cure anything. Everything in the presentation are the opinions of Dr. Alex Loyd, Dr. David Peck, myself, Johanna Chan, or you if you choose to share. You should always check with a licensed healthcare provider about any specific health concerns you may have. All right. Oh, did David drop off?
No,
I see David.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I was gonna say welcome everyone to the Picking Dr. Alex's Brain session,
No.
also known as the Dr. Peck confessional calls.
Yeah, that one does fit. Hi, I'm Alex Loyd. This is the good-looking guy in the middle in the blue is Dr. David Peck. David is a double board certified surgeon, 25 plus years professor, clinical papers, U.S. patents in the area of health, and one of the most brilliant and humble at the same time, which is very unusual, people I've ever known. And we are here because we decided we wanted to try to help 1 million to 1 billion people over the course of 12 months increase their emotional well-being by a minimum of 100%. And we believe that if that happens to anyone, to me, to David, it happened to us, if it happens to anyone, it'll change your life. So that's why we're here, and we decided as part of that to make everything free. That was the easiest way to try to help the most people, no hoops to jump through. So that's what we're doing, and that's why we're here. And we're looking for 144 people to start that are all in, because the science says if you get 144 that are all in, it creates critical mass. And at that point, you can't stop it if you wanted to. So if you would like to be one of those 144, we would be honored to have you. Please let us know. Okay, this week, the topic that David came up with, and actually, to be honest, I'm going to have to let him explain this one a little bit because I'm not totally sure I understand exactly where he's coming from, but the thought he had was kind of a combination of two areas, two categories. One is self-deprecation. And I know that because I tend to do that. And I know I tend to do that, okay? And to me, I think it goes back to at least two places, maybe more. My parents drilling into me that, boy, if I was ever arrogant or, acted anything like that, there would be a big consequence or punishment coming for that. If they saw or heard me do that, okay? Become arrogant or haughty or bragging or things like that. That was just a big no-no in our family, and I learned that. And then I think the other one may be from the Bible that talks about arrogance and haughtiness, and that the spiritual way to go is humility, and that was David's other thing, was kind of an issue between self-deprecating, which is in the goodness category of the healing codes, identity and worth, and humility, which is
putting down others.
Putting down others. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. You're right. Yeah. So Dave, why don't you take that and share what you were thinking, and then I'll add a couple of cents about it, and
Sure.
then we'll do the intervention for it.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, again, so this is again going to be somewhat of a confession here, because actually the topic came up a couple of weeks ago on a coach's call, where one of the practitioners was saying, well, Alex is amazing. He's so freaking bright. He's got all these ideas. He's got this amazing touch, and he's got these codes are like so powerful and everything. But then I hear him, and he's not giving himself any credit. It's like, we understand, it is from God. I feel the same way. Everything that I'm saying is directly from God, honestly, but still, it's like, we get some credit too, we are. And so, this is what came up. We're like, damn, Alex, man, you're a genius, man. I was going to say, one of my favorite, I've listened to so many of Alex's stories, and I love so many of them, but my favorite story is the story that when he calls me a genius. No, I'm serious, Alex. It's amazing. What you've done is amazing. That's what I'm saying. And the people recognize that. And I'm like, well, yeah, I totally agree. So this is how the topic came up, So I'm actually the opposite. I'm the wrongful pride guy. I'm like, as opposed to, inside, I'm putting myself down, yes.
Time out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Time out. Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm guilty.
Stop. You think that's who you are? You think that's how you come across?
Oh, before.
Oh, okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I was just going to say, I've never seen that one time from David. So, okay, that makes sense. Go ahead.
Yeah, that Peck's character was pretty strong, judgmental. I have it down to a trifecta: judgmentalism, hypercriticalism, and condescending. That was the Peck's character. Anyway, thank you though, Alex.
I appreciate you saying that, because I've never known you that way. And if that's the truth about you, goodness gracious, what a change.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, okay. So yeah, the wrongful pride. Yeah, I just wanted to have some clarification on when you're putting yourself down versus putting others down. That this is, the self is really the goodness category, as Alex was saying, and the others is like a humility. It's a superiority inferiority type of paradigm, where you're like putting the other person down in order to make yourself feel better, and envy and all that stuff. So, that I just wanted, that was the thing. The other thought, a question I had, and pose it to you, see what your thoughts are. The idea of like self-deprecating humor. People do use that, and I don't know, it's maybe supposed to be an attractive effect, where you kind of like put yourself down in an honest way. And I'm not sure how I see that in terms of truthfulness and really, standing for, if I'm good at this, I should be able to say, or whatever. If I'm not so good, that kind of thing. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that also.
Yeah, the place that comes from me is, and I shared sort of two places, but the real one is spiritual. And people used to say things like that to me, like I was good at this or I was good at that. And I do know that there's some things I'm pretty good at, some things I'm way better at than others, of course. But yeah, I know there's some things I'm pretty good at. But
how about creating this whole paradigm of healing codes? Come on.
My automatic response when someone would say something like that, Dave, used to be, anything good in me ain't me. That used to be my pat response. Okay. And the place that came from is, and I think it's important to understand this, and it's good that you brought it up. I've never thought to explain this ever. But to me, I see myself as a vessel rather than a source. I don't see myself as a source. Okay. my favorite preacher of all time, he used to say that, you know, I think I'm good at something, or I think I come up with something original or whatever and feel pretty good about myself. And he said, but my fear is that someday, years from now, I'm going to find a piece of paper laying on the floor behind a cabinet. It's going to be a quote that someone else really said that. And I was copying what I heard from someone else, but didn't remember that. So I've been taking credit for something that wasn't even me. Okay. And that wasn't a big deal to me, but the bigger deal is that I'm not a source, I'm a vessel. And that preacher, who's my favorite preacher, he used to preach, and he would say, about the best I can do in any given day is decide who's going to get me. Either God or Satan, evil, is going to get me. One of them. And it's for sure. And what I can do is choose which one. And that's kind of how I see it, Dave, is that when I do something good, it's when I'm choosing love, I'm choosing God, and those things are empowering me to what other people would see as a good result or smart or whatever. And when I'm screwing up, that's when, usually because of my flesh and temptation and weaknesses and desires and cravings and all this stuff, I literally choose evil. Or I never in my life have said, you know, I choose Satan, but I have a number of times in my life chosen to do something knowing full well that in my own belief system, I believed it was wrong for me to do it. And I went ahead and did it. Okay. So that's my belief system. And I probably haven't talked about it a lot because, you know, I didn't want to make people feel uncomfortable, you know, with all this spiritual stuff. And I've talked to a few people where I said, you know, I see myself as a vessel, not a source. The sources go through me, and then that's what I do. A few people, when I've shared that, have been, you know, had this quizzical look on their face, like, what? What? What did he say? That didn't make any sense.
99% of people are going to look like that.
So I guess that's why I haven't spoken about it more. And really, I hadn't even thought about it until, you know, you sent this topic and said what you said a few minutes ago. But that's where it comes. That's where it comes from me, and that is my belief system. Okay, so to me, it's not so much self-deprecating as it is just the truth of my belief system, which is that it's not me as a source. Now, today, Dave, the thing that's really wonderful for me today is that when I screw up today, I don't see me as the source of that either. Where it used to be, that would be crushing guilt and shame and I need to go hide, and I need to either, you know, go have a cookie, or, you know, if I were into drugs, get a hit of drugs, but I don't do drugs. But I mean, I need to do something for that anguish of, oh, I'm bad. Now, I don't believe that anymore. I believe that just like I'm not the source for the good, I'm not the source for the evil either. Okay, which has been a wonderful change in my life. But does that make any sense? That's where that comes from for me.
You know, that actually makes perfect sense. That
for the first time.
No, that explains everything just to a T. And it's so, and it's believable. But I'm gonna say that is very, very highly unusual, I would say, but really truly a blessing.
And maybe that's why I haven't talked about it much. Is the couple of times I have, usually more to one person or a small group, wait, what? You're not the source, but you just did it. Yeah, I know. I still think I'm not the source.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
So, if you're watching, I hope that doesn't turn you off, or I'm not saying you have to believe that, but that is my belief system. And I have no intention of changing it. I believe it's the truth for me.
Right. That's beautiful, Alex. Beautiful.
Okay. All right. You want anything else?
No.
Okay. Time out here. What most people don't realize who may be here or see this on podcast is we have a third person here. Her name is Johanna Chan, and she is the head of our coaching program. And she is one of the most brilliant, loving, spiritual people I have ever met in my life. And Johanna, do you have any 2 cents about this topic we're talking about from your wisdom and your life and your perspective?
Well, I'm a totally 100% the same belief as you, as far as if there's anything good that comes out of me, it's not me. It's not coming from me. I'm full of faults. I believe in the Bible, and I believe that God, when we choose love, we choose to be a vessel of love. We choose God to use us as a vessel of love. And that's my passion. That's been my passion for many years. So I totally agree with you, Alex.
All right. Okay. Dave, you want to start the code?
Sure. Okay, so we pray, we request that all destructive, negative cellular memories, unhealthy habits, addictions, false limiting beliefs, or any relationship issues related to the topic of self-deprecation be found, opened, and healed through love, light, truth, and God.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, so the first position is left hand Adam's apple, right hand bridge. This would be for self-deprecation, putting ourselves down for any reason in a true sense. Second position, left hand Adam's apple, right hand temple. Third position now, both hands Adam's apple. Okay, fourth position, both hands temples now. Fourth position, both hands temples. Okay, back to the first position, left hand Adam's apple, right hand bridge, first position. Second position, left hand Adam's apple, right hand temple. Okay, third position, both hands Adam's apple. And both hands temples, fourth position. Final position, both hands temples. Okay, so that's 2 cycles.
All right, let's move into trilogy, custom acupuncture points. Let's start with side of the hand, collarbones, temples, under the nose, little finger, middle of the chest, under the eyes, thumb, middle of the chest, under the arms, index finger, sore spot, chin, 9G. Eyes open, closed, open, eyes down to the left, down to the right, circle your eyes, circle them back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's move to next section and do left hand brainstem, right hand forehead. This is brainstem and prefrontal cortex, conscious, unconscious, subconscious, and ancestral mind, all at the same time. For about a minute. Okay, let's activate governing and conception vessel 3 times, please. 3 times. If it hurts, you're pushing too hard. This is called yin and yang. And the process we're doing, the research says, calms the central nervous system. All right, now custom healing centers. Let's start with throat. Please open and harmonize. Middle of the stomach. Please open and harmonize. Throat, please open and harmonize. Base or root on the pubic bone, please open and harmonize. Heart, please open and harmonize. Under the belly button, please open and harmonize. Forehead, please open and harmonize. Crown, please open and harmonize. Hands over the heart, slow, deep breaths, let the code process. When you're ready, make a note of the 0 to 10. I would also check it again in about 30 minutes. It should be better than it is now in 30 minutes. And that is it. And Johanna, while you're seeing about if anyone has a hand up, I just wanted to share, because we don't share this every time. Excuse me. If you're coming to this call or you're new to it, what I would recommend, and David can pop in on his opinion of this, but what I would recommend is each week do the custom process that we're doing together. This call will be posted, so you can go back and do it again, write it down if you want to, whatever. And then every day this week, until we meet again next Wednesday, do this same process for these issues in your life. Now, if you, after a day or two, decide, I'm done with that, I don't have any issue with that, okay, fine. Then go back and find another one from the past that you still do have an issue with. Do that one until we meet the next week, and then start that new one for that week, etc. And I believe if you do that over the course of a year, you'll work on pretty much any issue you can have, animal, vegetable, mineral, all of them. So just wanted to share that, since we don't share that every time. And if we have a new person, they might feel a little lost. So Johanna, any questions, comments, anything at all?
We do have one hand up. It's Marilyn.
Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, Marilyn.
There I am. I'm unmuted. I really want to thank you for saying that the good in me is not me, but neither is the bad. You know, that's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
For me, I have a very religious background, and where I've been healing recently is on post-traumatic stress from sitting in church and listening to the preaching about God smiting people, particularly for their arrogance and their pride, and that's been a big fear of me. So I really appreciate this trilogy. Thank you.
Hey, we need to rename this the Dave and Al confession call. I think that would fit better. Come here, David and Al, confess and cry and weep and moan.
All right.
I'm sorry, Marilyn, go ahead.
Did you not hear me?
Oh, yeah, but I interrupted you. I was just saying, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say thank you for this one, where you said that the good in me is not me, but neither is the bad.
Yes.
You know, that I have a very religious background, and I've been healing on post-traumatic stress from all those years of sitting in church and hearing about God smiting people. And so I had a fear of being arrogant and God smiting me, you know.
You know, Marilyn, it's amazing to me that so many of us who grew up that way in a strict religious, legalistic situation, it's amazing to me that we were taught things about God or from the Bible or whatever. And I believe so many of the time what we were taught was in error. What we were taught was wrong, but there is a truth about that same thing that is wonderful. But what I was taught growing up was not the wonderful side of it. It was the guilt and shame and bad side of it. And so you grow up thinking, okay, I can't even think about that issue because everything about that issue is bad and makes me feel worse and everything else. But that's usually wrong in my experience. The real truth about that is often freeing and very positive. It's an irony. It's an amazing irony. But you're welcome, and Dave can tell you if you're welcome for like the 27 confessions of his.
That's true.
And
I'm gonna have to start paying you for being on these calls.
No, it's worth it. It's worth it. I'm
Okay.
just looking forward to when you come off daylight savings. So.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Dave, you got to come with me when because I haven't been there before, and we've got a bunch of people in Australia.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock or 4 in the morning now.
All right. Well, I've got to go. Thank you, everyone. Johanna, Dave, Marilyn, the rest of you who are here listening on podcasts. I love you. I pray for you every day. I may not know who you are, but God does. And thank you. And if you're willing to join us in our mission, let us know. It encourages us to know when one person says, hey, I'm in, it fires me and Dave up. I mean, it really does. It's very encouraging. So keep that coming. And but I've got to run. Sorry. Love you guys.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah.
Bye, Alex. Okay, we have April's got her hand up. I'm going to unmute your line, April.
Hi, April.
Hey guys. Yeah, it was I'm not sure if I'll remember exactly what I was gonna say, but just kind of when you guys were talking about earlier, the issue, the topic for the day, and I was gonna say, yeah, sometimes it seems like, if we're kind of putting ourselves down, it's almost like, again, we're putting sorry about the traffic there. Again, we're putting the focus on the vessel instead of on the source. So that's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're putting or to say it, I'm probably just kind of reiterating what you're saying, but yeah, I'm in agreement with,
Yeah. Well, I think what
and
Alex,
we've just been thinking about this lately too. Just this morning I was thinking about this same topic. So it's awesome. It feels so much better to think about, God kind of, he does everything. We're just kind of his beloved children. So that's all I was gonna say.
yeah.
I don't know if that made any sense at all, but
no, but the only thing, April, is that when he was talking about being a vessel, he was talking about the goodness of God coming through him. And what you were saying is that if you did something wrong, you would blame yourself as being the vessel as opposed to the source, which would be God. The vessel is supposed to be a good thing. Yeah.
No, but if we, no, I just meant that, when you put yourself down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's no really any reason to put yourself down at all in that situation. It's just kind of like a random thing. Yeah. And usually when you do that, it feels bad. And you go, dang it, why did I do that again? But some people have done it so much their whole lives, they're just used to it and they walk around with their heads down,
Okay, I get it. Yeah. So to go to the source, to heal the source of that self-deprecation, whether it was, I guess Alex had a thing where, his parents were.
Yeah, I think that's what today's code is going to heal in people. And wow, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks, April.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go. Okay, let me see if anybody has any. No questions written. So I don't see any other hands up.
Okay.
I guess that's going to be it for today, David. But
That's
thanks,
good. That's fine.
thanks for being here always, and thank you all for participating. Our attendance is growing on the phone. And online, so that's wonderful to see. So come back again next week, folks, if you want.
You know, Johanna,
Yeah.
before we end the call, you know, I went and looked for the videos, and I found it difficult to find, actually. You know, the only place, the place where I was able to find them was on Alex's Facebook page. But other than that, it's not easy to find. So, you know, that was the one thing. And then, you know, maybe at some point, anyway, I'll talk to you offline about, you know, I had some other ideas about some things we could do, but I guess we're still on the reporting. So
Yeah.
Later. Yeah.
Usually when I go to All Lives Matter,
Yeah.
under Loyd, that's where I find them on YouTube. But it's YouTube.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
YouTube,
I'll look again.
YouTube is where he posts them. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we do have another hand up, so let me allow this one. It's your phone ends in 1799, and let me just stop the recording.